And the worst thing you do if you're running online campaigns is drive traffic to your website, just some generic homepage or some generic page. You need to have a good landing page. So here's my 9 tips. Tip number 1, you need to have a good headline, a nice strong headline. And that's about making sure that when the person lands on the landing page, the headline grabs their attention and drags them in so they want to read some more. Now, if you want to make sure that you write the best headlines possible, listen out for tomorrow's tip, because tomorrow's tip, I'm going to be talking about a formula I use to write great email subject lines that also works for headlines. So enough of that for now, but yeah, definitely need a good headline. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is that you need to have a compelling offer. If you go back to episode 38, I spoke about how to make a nice offer. Really, really important that if you're going to have a landing page that converts, there has to be a compelling offer on the landing page, or you are dead in the water. You can forget it. Your conversion rates will be crap. Tip number 3, at least one image. There's nothing worse than when people land onto a landing page and there's no images. Images are good for grabbing people's attention, telling stories, earning credibility, trust, rapport, all of those things. They're just interesting, right? So make sure you've got at least one image on your landing page if you want to get the best results that you possibly can. Tip number 4 is include testimonials or social proof. Now, these are really, really powerful things to be able to do. One of the challenges with a landing page is that you have to put everything on there that you possibly can without making it too cluttered, because you don't want to be too busy. That's going to help them make the decision to actually give you their details, whether it's buying something, opting in for something. They've got to trust you, right? And so one of the best ways is third-party endorsement. And a third-party endorsement can be one of 2 things in my eyes. One is a testimonial. So that's happy customers. And it can be a case study or it can be a testimonial. That's a nice third-party endorsement. And you've probably heard this before. If you tell people how good you are, it's bragging. If someone else tells people how good you are, it's an endorsement, right? So third-party endorsements by testimonial, customer case study is great. The other type of third-party endorsement is then if it's being used by a big company. So you can sort of use logos that may be publicly recognizable. For example, let's say you're one of your customers or your solution is used for Coca-Cola or Commonwealth Bank or one of these big names. You want to put that on your landing page and say, as used by, and then that's a bit of a third-party endorsement. The other thing you can do is as seen, and you've probably seen that people advertise that as seen on TV. Well, if you have been published in Forbes, for example, or you've been on the morning show, Channel 9, or you've been on the news or Sky News, or you've been featured in some publication of the top 10 IT specialists in the country or whatever it might be, put that on there as well, because what that does is it is a third-party endorsement, builds up credibility, and that's what they call social proof. Really powerful thing. Tip number 5, have a 2-step opt-in form. Too many people I see when they are getting people to opt in on their page, they're asking for too much information in step 1. And what happens is people get scared by that. The more boxes that people have to fill in, the more resistance there is to them filling in their details. So having a 2-stage opt-in form allows you to do this. Get their name and email address at stage 1. When they hit the button to say, yes, please, I want more, then it goes to the second form, which asks for more information. Now, I do this. It works gangbusters. It will increase your conversion rates or opt-in rates on the page by 4 times or more, because people feel like they're only going to have to give you their name and email address for whatever it is you're giving away. And then the second page says you can ask 10 questions. If they really want it, they'll fill it in. You'll still get people at that second form that just run and hide. The good news is you've got their name and email address, so you can follow them up. You can email them and say, hey, what happened? Was there a technical problem? Can I help you fill this in? You can continue the conversation. You can send them more case studies. You can, you've got their details, so you can keep working. So a 2-step opt-in form is really important. Tip number 6, really important, is that you don't use the word submit on your buttons. There's been studies done that people don't like the word submit. No one wants to submit anything, by the way. So don't use the word submit. Use something like, instant access on the button, or yes, please, give me my download. I want more time now, or whatever it is you're doing. Make the button so it's relevant and it's got its own call to action on it. And whilst I'm talking about buttons, button color is really important. So they've done studies, and changing button colors can change your opt-in rates. So, for example, in some instances, a green button can work better than a red button. And, for all obvious that the colours red and green are going to have a big difference, but sometimes try other colours, and just see what works really well for you. But they have done tests, and changing the colour of the button has a big effect. Tip number 7 is think like a customer. And I think this is always important. I think I've said it before in one of my previous episodes, is I always like to walk a mile in their shoes. So think about a customer that's just landed on that landing page. They're on this journey to trying to make a decision, and you've made an offer. They're on your landing page. Is it appealing to you? Is it something that is going to make you take action? Tip number 8 is make sure that it works on mobile devices and tablets, because this day and age, you'll find that a huge percentage of your traffic will be coming through mobile devices. Your landing page doesn't work well on a mobile device, then you're in trouble. Big time, because it's got to be easy for people to read on a mobile device. And it's really important that when you set this up, you might have more information on the desktop version and less information on the mobile device version. And you can do that, right? These sites or these pages can be what's called responsive, right? So they respond differently depending on the device that people are using them on. Tip number 9 is test. And once you finish testing, test some more. And what that means is try different variations, try different colors, move the form around. I have seen tests where the form to submit information has been moved from the left-hand side of the page to the right-hand side of the page, and that has increased the conversion rate. I have seen tests where the background color of the entire page has been changed from white to off-white, and it's reduced the conversion rate. So, you can never test too much, and so you should always be A/B split testing. What that means is have two running at the same time. And, after a while, you keep the best one and you keep changing the one that's not performing as well until it does better than the best one. And then you change the one that's not performing as well, and so on and so on and so on. So you're continually testing until you get an absolutely blinding result from your landing page. So there you go. So there's my 9 tips for using landing pages or getting more conversions from your landing pages. If you're enjoying the daily business tips and you're watching this on YouTube, please thumbs up, subscribe, comments down below. If you're listening to this in your favorite podcast player, please leave an honest review and rating. And finally, and I'm making the biggest mistake you can on anything that is marketing-wise, and that's giving you too many options. But anyway, I'm hoping that you're grown up enough and clear enough that you can choose which options suit you best. Finally, join the DBT podcast on Facebook, and we've got a private group there. Get into the group. We're having a right old fun time, and you're missing out. We'd love to see you there. I'm going to finish off today with a quote, as I always do. Today's quote's a little bit longer than most of them, but it's from Brian Tracy, and I think it's a great quote. If you haven't heard of Brian Tracy, what rock have you been under? That would be my first question, but if not, Google him. He's got some great stuff. And Brian Tracy says, teamwork is so important that it is virtually impossible for you to reach the heights of your capabilities or make the money that you want without becoming very good at it. Thanks, Brian Tracy. Until tomorrow, have a profitable day.